Okay. Well, if I believe Moo's just gonna stay muted because he has to. But
Hi, welcome to Cookie Mama episode 32.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna be learning how to cook chimkin.
Yeah. Alex, get on the table.
What? No.
Get the knife neutral.
No.
He's trying to run.
Pour the lube on him. He'll slip and fall. Okay.
No.
Okay, let's. Oh yeah, right. Let's get more skills.
Get your skills.
Okay. Reduces aiming. No. I cannot get more skills. Bye bye, Monomi.
Whose fault is that? Huh?
Alright, and I believe I don't have any other ones that I can pull out. Okay, yep. Okay. Let's look at the
Negative brutally murdered.
truth bullets. Monokuma file. Victims Nagito. Body discovered inside the warehouse. Monokuma plushie. Time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Spear stabbed in the stomach. There's multiple stab wounds each thighs. There's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through the right. Excuse me. Both of Nagito's legs were tied with a rope, and each rope was tied to nearby pillars, which prevented him from moving. His thighs were covered with a lot of stab wounds. The rope that was tied to Nagito's right arm was burned off. His right sleeve is clean.
28 stabbing.
Survival knife that was stabbed into Nagito's right hand. The knife is from the military base. It's safe to assume that the wounds on Nagito's legs and his left arm are caused by this knife. Blood was splattered on the palm of Nagito's hand. For some reason, the splatter cuts off in the middle of his palm. Also, the back of his left hand is an unnatural blood stain that is only above the middle joints of his fingers. Nagito's mouth was covered in duct tape. The blood was splattered onto his face under the duct tape. The tape itself has a lot of crinkles in it, as if Nagito was desperately moving his mouth underneath it. Spear impaled through Nagito's stomach, cord with an iron weight at the end of it extends from the back of the handle. For some reason, only the section where the cord and the weight is touching the blood. Only the section where the cord and the weight touches blood. Okay, interesting. That's a Monokuma plushie that was found on the floor near the fire's origin point. Huge bloody hole in his stomach.
He's fucking dead, Jim.
A red line on the ceiling girder inside the goods warehouse. A lot of tipped over Monokuma panels scattered around the goods warehouse. In one area, the panels seem to be laying on top of each other in a straight orderly line. Found at the fire's origin point. Looks like this was what was used to cause the fire. An MP3 player that comes with speakers. The music was blaring through the warehouse when Hajime and others arrived was coming from this. Oh. Sonia secretly used one of the bombs from the military base at the ancient ruins and found out that the bombs were fake. At the time, Monomi was apparently peeking at the whole thing. Monokuma knew all along that the bombs were fake, however, he apparently never revealed the fact to anyone. The diary that Monomi updated every day, or did she? According to Monokuma, Monomi cannot write. These were things hidden in Nagito's cottage under his bed. A piece of blue paper found in Nagito's cottage under his bed. It's a round, thin piece of aluminum paper. Monokuma's special poison found inside the refrigerator at Nagito's cottage. The warning label on the back says, "This enchanted liquid is highly potent, takes effect immediately. Its volatility is low, the liquid is very dangerous and vaporized. In a gaseous state, it is heavier than air. It breaks down in minutes, and it is susceptible to hydrolysis. So it is possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications. Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place in a glass or plastic container away from sunlight." File contains the Hope Academy student profiles for all 16 students participating in the school trip. Due to the fact that Monokuma forged the traitor's profile, looking at this won't help identify who the traitor is. Okay. Let me take a drink of water and. Okay, let's do this. Trial 5.
So,
Yeah.
are we doing both?
Now then, let's
Since
begin with a
school,
simple
no more,
explanation
or-
of the class
We'll
trial.
see.
Actually, okay.
Yeah.
Curious.
Yeah, we'll see.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
Oh, okay.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person...
What's that thing over Gundams? Why is it just the letter X?
Because there's Roman numeral X.
I don't think so.
Was he the
Unless he was the 10th student.
Was he the 10th student?
Nagito, Hajime.
No, was he the 10th student to go?
I'm just counting who's left. Who was left?
Oh, right.
Soda. Sonia. No, he was the 9th student.
Weird. Okay.
Because there were 7 left after that.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll punish everyone besides the Blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monomi? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you?
So threatening.
You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit? Chesto!
Oh, wow.
One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow! It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monomi. The class trial has started, after all.
Murder.
God. Okay,
The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now
I'm the
that's
traitor.
more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or... Oh, we're starting on the second theme? Okay. Torture with survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushie.
You're the traitor, you just don't remember.
That's what I was wondering.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up! I'm telling you, they were torturing him!
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito!
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
Oh, I got it.
Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko!
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Interesting. Okay. Why did the killer have to...
sure about that. I think my dad used to do that.
Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No. Were the samples in Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up!
Oh, here, let me look at the knife real fast.
A survival knife.
The knife is from the military base. It's safe to assume the wounds... Cause by this now. Okay.
Kuro.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with
Let me
wounds.
look at torture rooms real fast. Okay. Live stab wounds. Okay.
I'm dead.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito!
He's dead.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
Torturing him.
Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
No.
They wanted his monoped.
The suspect is whoever
Give me-
found the bomb
give me the
first.
monoped.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence.
Coincidence.
There's no way I'd torture someone.
So Monokuma knew... No, it's not that one.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up.
Maybe it's the
I'm
guy.
telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, okay, so...
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's
Where's
hiding
your
place.
SpaghettiOs?
Okay, I can't get that one.
If
Just
so,
making sure.
the suspect.
Is whoever found the bomb first!
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by There's no way I'd torture someone.
The killer didn't tape Nagito. I'm telling you, they were tortured.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Okay, that wasn't right. No? Oh, he knew.
Yep.
Oh, he is, okay. What? No matter how you look at it, Nagito was obviously tortured, right? If that's not torture, then what is it? There's no other possibility!
Crap! The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up.
Yes. Sorry.
I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they
Maybe.
trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's
Stuff?
hiding place. If so, the
Because.
suspect.
Is whoever found the bomb first!
What do you say?
That was
If so-
Fuyuhiko.
That's a knife.
I found it by coincidence.
Fuyuhiko.
There's no way I'd torture someone.
I feel kind of stumped on this.
I think you should look through your evidence.
Yeah, okay, I will. Okay,
The truth and bullets again.
yeah. Okay, so
The
torture
killer
wounds,
didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up.
duct tape. His mouth covered duct tape. Mouth covered. Desperately moving underneath it.
What's the... If they were torturing him, why would they cover his mouth if they wanted information?
Right! Right, true!
I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
Good idea, yeah, good point.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's wrong.
I was thinking like... I think I had JoJo in my mind.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape.
They covered his
He wouldn't
mouth.
have been
They
able to
still
confess
tortured him.
anything.
Okay. I was, yeah, okay.
If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
Oh boy. Oh god, what are you doing, Soda?
Speedo.
I just realized it. It's a trap.
Oh,
It's a trap.
huh.
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Sorry, you were born stupid.
Baka!
You were born stupid, Hajime.
No! You are born stupid, Soda!
Why do you still have that sticker?
I don't! I ate the sticker!
Ew.
That means it's a party forever now. What do
Like
you
you
mean?
said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Advance!
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention.
Morse
This
code.
is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him,
Damn it!
like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
That doesn't make any
But if you tape
sense!
his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him,
Speedo.
Damn it!
After they killed him. Yeah, no, it was the duct tape itself, because...
like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, You obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Booga booga. I'm
Pay
answering any
attention,
question.
this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagi and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they
One
killed
more.
him,
Here we go.
There you go.
Here we go.
Allow me to cut through those words.
Allow me to cut through your contradiction.
Ow.
No, there's
Here,
no doubt Nagito's
keep it
mouth was covered with duct
My
tape
baby.
before he was beat up.
what did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors. We don't need to play a game.
What?
It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
What did you just say? You love games.
There was no blood.
Yeah.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us
Maybe.
when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
This is painful.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth.
But I
He
love it.
must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
That's like everybody here.
Then,
Yeah.
are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they
Maybe.
didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
I don't think so, because they left Nagito's body there.
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that?
I think it was to alert us to. No, never mind.
When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the
Perfect.
pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then, let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
I love her! I love her so much!
Damn right it is.
She's so cute!
Oh.
Reason for the fire, huh? You're right. We need to clear that up first. Reason for the fire. There's one reason I see. Torture wounds, burn ropes, roll knife, duct tape. Monokuma panels, that's what I think.
Monokuma precious.
The direct cause of the fire was
Me?
the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
No.
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
He's still going to
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Yeah?
Based on the shape of that oil lighter,
Clatter.
it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused
Yes.
intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
Okay. Opening the door. What kind of setup was used to start that fire? So what could it be?
Me.
The direct cause of the oil lighter found at
The killer used something. He lit the curtain on.
some kind of setup.
Soda just ran in and lit the
Did
curtain
they use
right
the
back to
oil
the
as
door.
an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the light. Based on the shape of it can stand upright while the flame is
If they tipped over the light, it could have ignited the curtain.
some way.
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over
Is there
with
legit
sound waves.
only one yellow one in this
Or
one?
perhaps opening the door caused.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Oh,
so.
okay. Alright. Oh, okay. So it's okay. Got it. I remember that. Forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought. It was the wind pressure.
That's right,
A
Johnny.
dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line.
I just want to make this clear before we proceed. So we walked out and heard music, and then when we opened the door, that's when the fire began.
Well, when you opened the door,
That's when we saw the fire.
when the fire supposedly began. Also, keep in mind, I think that's the only entrance into the warehouse.
Okay, but I'm just making
Don't
sure
forget that part.
we weren't aware of any fire until we opened the door, right?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino
Alright, give me
effect.
pizza.
You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
I got it texting. Let me answer that fast.
See you later.
Alright. Okay.
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The killer did one other thing to hide the domino effect. They scattered around other ones. Down here. Is it just this? Yeah, I think it's just, yeah, I believe it's just that. Oil lighter.
Crap!
Oh, no, that's not it! I need to think of the killer did one other thing to hide the domino effect.
The music, maybe?
Yeah,
For the
that's-
sound?
Yeah, that was my other... Probably to direct our attention to the MP3 player.
I see!
Okay, interesting.
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling
Oh,
panels.
the sound! The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blaring throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, you guys hear something?
Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does Nagito like listening to this depressing crap?
No, I'm not talking about the music. And as if on cue, it suddenly started. Okay, yeah.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine. I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, it'll be fine! With those words, Akane brushed off everyone's warnings and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Yeah? It's not opening. Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it. I know it. It's a trap. Seriously, just stop it, okay? Didn't I tell you it'll be fine? I just gotta use a little more force.
What happened to open it slowly?
Akane ignored the protest, and with a mighty kick, the door flew open.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
Her sad sprite is really just... ugh.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
Yeah, but it's just a panel.
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse, I see. So the problem Chiaki's talking about is the killer couldn't have left.
I see!
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Ugh.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. Nagito. What?
This is my answer!
Huh. I mean, that's true.
What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss?
I love Fuyuhiko's confusion.
That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. Oh boy, what? Could this actually? No, it can't be. Torture wounds, burn ropes are rolling off a little later. God,
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Lord.
So, he tied the rope with his penis. If our assumption that Nagito committed suicide is correct, Nagito should have tied himself up too.
No, he uses his taco.
God, a guy just uses his butt cheeks. That's okay, right?
That's...
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty
Take
joke!
off.
Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Maybe it's not that good.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
So I feel like this might be a gather one. Okay, let's try the gather approach.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
So let's remember that one.
That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
He couldn't have used his teeth because of the duct tape. And I'm just gonna rule out the front tail one. So that leaves interesting. This one's a tough
To
case.
actually tie up
Use
your
his
own
front
arms and
tail to
legs.
impale himself with the spear.
Obviously impossible.
I don't think so.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but
I already
both
figured out
arms
where
would be
the spear came
impossible.
from.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
You were by yourself.
Just get that
how
one.
about if you
Yeah,
use your teeth?
interesting.
Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Okay, I'll scan that one, sure.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one, tying both arms would be...
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible
It
if
is.
you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth?
You were by yourself.
Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
The only thing I could use this on is the first assumption.
I know.
Let's try it.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
Yeah, we did.
Alright.
What's the connection between what you're saying and the fact that his arms and legs are tied up? Ugh. If you got something to say, then face me and say it, dumbass.
Crap!
No, I made a mistake. I need to think it over one more time.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Oh, I was on mobile and muted.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but
But now I'm back.
tying both arms would be impossible.
Type your own arm.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
arms?
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Yourself.
How about if you use your teeth?
Yeah, I can't. No.
Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
You're a dirty joke.
That doesn't seem right. This is a tough case to move.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's not just me,
It's
right?
basically accumulation of things that you had to put in thinking.
Yeah. Okay.
So, good luck.
Thank you.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
I feel like this ain't it.
That's obviously impossible.
Go through them.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
Whatever.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth?
My teeth.
Or if you use your front tail?
My
Dirty
baby.
joke! Is that a dirty joke?
I think it's the by yourself one. There's something about that that's throwing me off. By yourself. By yourself. Because the rope was burned on his right arm. Burned
The thing is, he wasn't there by himself. Someone had to kill him.
Yeah. But I think we're doing this under the assumption that he killed himself somehow.
He had assistance, I bet.
He probably did. It was burned out hard. Nagito's right sleeve looks clean. Okay, right?
No.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth?
I'll try to by yourself.
Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke!
Maybe
Is that a dirty
knife.
joke?
Maybe a survival knife. Because it was stabbed into his right hand.
To
and his
actually
left
tie
hand
up your own arms and
Yeah.
legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is what tying both arms
This
would be
left
impossible.
hand was tied.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
4, 3, 2.
It'd be impossible if you were by
Ah,
yourself.
darn it. Okay.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Try demonstrating it right now, you dumbass.
Okay.
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 To
Watch it.
actually tie up your own arms and...
Time's up.
Damn it!
Oh god, they're gonna find it. I killed him. So you.
Yeah.
I can't go on any longer. I don't have any other options. Everyone doubts me.
Look at Connor smiling. Yep. Okay. It appears the trial has come to an end. Well, I'm just gonna kill you right here. Sorry, you're on mean difficulty. You gotta start the whole game all over again.
No!
No, that would be mega mean difficulty.
That'd be rude.
That'd be rude difficulty.
Hey, look at my neck. Doesn't it trigger you?
Actually, there looks even. It's weird.
Are you sure?
No, it's not even. You no neck chump. Yeah, him. Hajime did it. Because we've been doing this so many times.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Dream Dragon has guaranteed blah blah blah, and now the others will be all punished. That means you too, Hajime.
This is our end?
Yeah.
Okay!
We will
Bro!
You try.
Okay.
Okay. Is this the gather one?
No,
Okay.
that's the only hint I'll give you.
Okay, thank you. I'll work with
For
that.
the whole trial.
No, chapter 6, I won't give you anything.
Yeah, yeah.
To actually tie up your own arms and
I'll
legs.
barely give you anything for
That's
this one.
obviously
Yeah,
impossible!
thank you. I appreciate it.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but
Tying
tying both arms would be impossible.
the plushie.
The plushie
Couldn't
did
do
it.
much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by
He has some of
yourself.
the torture wounds because
How
he was
about if you
not by
use your
himself.
teeth?
Yeah.
Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Self-inflicted those. But let's
To
try it.
actually tie up, that's obvious.
Tying just the leg, tying both arms would.
You couldn't do much with the free...
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Yeah, because he could have inflicted them on himself, I think.
Demonstrate
Actually tie
torturing
up your own
yourself.
arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
What?
Tying just the legs is one. Tying both arms would.
You couldn't do much with
How'd
the...
you
It'd be
make cuts into the
impossible
whole
if you were
game?
by...
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Survival knife,
Maybe.
duct tape. Self-type on the-
Critical thinking. Activate.
Maybe the duct
Time
tape.
to roll the dice.
It could have been... Maybe the duct tape. Because he was obviously screaming and
To
stuff,
actually
so
tie up
maybe-
your own... That's obvious.
You don't know
Tying
that.
just the leg, tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much
Talking
with
about
the free...
Nagito
It'd be
here.
impossible if you were by
Just
yourself.
no, he killed him.
Naegi killed him.
No, I...
To actually
I mean, I
tie up
did,
your
but-
own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Oil lighter. I think the oil lighter has anything to do with it.
Audible dice roll.
What? Because I'm rolling dice. Oh, natural 20. You're so good at this time.
Yeah, like, okay, the torture wounds, his dice are also cover wounds. Preventing from moving, though it doesn't cover the hand being stabbed, because it's in the hand, so he couldn't have done that because of left arm. So maybe it's a survival knife. Nagito's right hand. Okay, let's try survival knife.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Excuse me.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
Yeah, that's not it.
Read a survival knife again.
Try the survival knife? Oh, read it
No,
again?
read it.
Okay.
Read it again.
Okay.
Because I don't believe you read it.
Okay. Survival knife that was stabbed into Nagito's right hand. The knife is from the military base. It's safe to assume that the wounds on Nagito's legs and left arm were caused by this knife.
That's his.
Yeah.
That's his right arm right there.
Yeah, this is his right arm, and the knife was stabbed into his right hand.
Now, I'll give you one more hint. Think of what else is it, including the right arm.
Including the right arm? So his legs, his left arm, the right hand. I realize there's no blood splatter on his left hand either, so maybe it was him, because he could have been holding the knife. Okay. Okay, interesting.
That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but... Tying
Because if you
both
get
arms would
this
be
thing again, I will straight up give you the answer.
Oh?
Because, like... Never mind, just keep going.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
Oh.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up, that's obvious.
Tying just the leg, tying both arms would be...
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Okay, yeah, that's not...
To actually tie up your own arms and
survival
legs.
knife on both things, so that's not the
That's
one.
obviously impossible.
It's just teeth.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but... Tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
I don't think either
Dirty
of those
joke!
are
Is that a dirty joke?
No,
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah.
To actually tie up
Stop
your own
moving
arms
my
and
case.
legs.
Yeah.
That's obviously impossible.
Now,
Tying just
I
the
will
leg...
tell you right now,
Mhm.
you are overlooking the one evidence.
Overlooking the one evidence. Okay.
I don't think... I think you briefly looked through it, but...
Okay. I have a color more of that and why I don't have that available. Concussion. He was stabbed. Could he have... That's possible one actually. Because that doesn't make sense to do it by himself. There's multiple panels on top of each other. And then last one is oil lighter. I'm gonna come up with
You missed
Tying
one
both arms would
evidence.
be
Oh,
That
impossible.
is the evidence
Oh
you
yeah, yeah.
missed.
Oh yeah.
I
I
was
tried-
here like, are you actually overlooking?
Yeah, yeah.
This-
That was my first.
It's on top.
Okay.
There it is.
This is right.
Yeah, it just said the rope burn earlier too.
Yeah, that was my first one. I thought I used it.
Damn
so
it.
that was my
You
mistake.
used it on the wrong one.
Okay.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Okay, so
That was the wrong one.
Yeah,
You
that's
used it on.
okay.
To actually tie up your own arms.
No, that's wrong.
D.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were.
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. That was, I think, yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry, that's my fault.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
To prove that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap, his right sleeve. I believe it's his right sleeve because it wasn't.
I see.
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
Oh,
That's definitely wrong.
Oh no.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
Oh my god.
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito.
Dramatic music.
I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand.
Benjamin.
Watch it
That much
look.
is obvious.
Watch and learn. No, Hajime gets a knife. I'll demonstrate.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back. What the hell?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Yeah, I'll use a credit card, okay?
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
I don't think she understands how. Okay.
A way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand. It's okay, there's definitely an answer for this. There's a lot of discussion breaks for this one. I was wondering about this earlier too.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Burned rope.
It's quite easy, actually.
Knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow
Yeah, I think so.
and slammed his right hand down on it?
Yeah, that's possible.
Propped it onto what?
Maybe?
If he just propped the knife,
Oh.
Could have used
he could have
himself
used
as
his bound
himself.
left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
Okay, yeah. If Nagito could only use his right hand to stab himself with the palm, then how did he do it? Yeah, okay.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand?
If he threw the knife and let the knife fall,
This is
could
actually
he stab
fairly
his hand
plausible,
that
too.
way?
But there's
Is
no
he a
evidence.
throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
Oh, whoops. Oh, I chose the wrong one.
Oh my god.
I'm a dummy, I'm sorry.
I
No,
agree
that's
with
wrong.
that.
Consent! Chiaki's making too many right points.
The
It's
life-size
kinda weird.
Monokuma plushie. He must have
Left
used
points.
that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
Why would he?
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
I've heard of those.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right?
Maybe.
If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito.
True.
If that's true, how is that possible?
The death wouldn't have been instantaneous, though.
He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
No, it's possible.
He probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
That's what I thought.
There is a limit to his constitution.
Saving throw.
If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
You wanna try it?
I've seen thicker.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Okay, you guys know I'm gonna have to save this one. I'm sorry.
Mega spoiler.
Yeah, mega spoiler.
God, the left when flickering is like, she seems happy. What have I done?
One more
Yes.
time. I need to record it. For reasons.
Hey, bastard, you better
Yes, no,
cut
you
it
die
out.
instantly.
Like
No
she
questions.
said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
He propped it onto the ceiling, and it fell whenever the fire started.
So you're saying it's impossible?
Impossible.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that.
Hey,
To
Jaeger,
think that
we're
one of
playing
us
Jaeger.
could kill someone with such cruelty.
Yeah, we're playing Danganronpa.
I could never
So,
believe that.
Spoilers. If you're afraid of spoilers, then you
Go away. Don't go away. But at the same time, so.
Yeah, I hope you're doing good though.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's
Right.
why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
I be muted, but yes. Okay. Yeah, Jaeger. Thank you for being here. Oh.
Monomi sassing me!
Oh, yo.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far, so this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how. We made it this far up till now.
Moshi clicked on the spoiler and she read the cutting.
Everyone working together.
Come on, guys, let's work together.
No.
He's right. We've made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that.
I don't want to work for the traitor.
No, stop! Shut up! Shut up, Soda! Then even now.
Alright, let's do this.
Yes.
I'm the traitor. Wait, I'm dead. Never mind.
There's so many discussion breaks. Oh my god. Okay.
Indeed. This is like probably one of the trials that has the most in the game.
Yeah. I'm not against it.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
No.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, it doesn't.
If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth?
God dang it! No!
Or maybe he used his front tail.
Stop saying that!
Idle guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
What are you saying?
The blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
Okay.
If Nagito committed suicide, then he must have used his front tail to stab himself.
Dang it.
Even if his arms and legs are tied up, there's no doubt that he used some part of his body. Like...
No, that's wrong!
The only thing he could have used is... God dang it!
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear?
His front.
Let's work together and think this through.
Yeah, okay.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
Yeah.
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
I know the answer, but I want to go to the scene one more time.
If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth? Or maybe he used his front tail. I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
What
are you saying?
The blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
Okay.
How did Nagito... Let's work together. When the spear stabbed his right hand was...
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, that's wrong!
Soda Shikazo! You're a loser, Soda!
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
You absolute buffoon!
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain. But it's not the only unnatural bloodstain.
Oh, the one on the wire.
Look,
Oh, okay.
there's blood on the back of his hand. Around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm, and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
Holding on to something. Was that
His front tail making it stronger and extend out to the heavens.
It was gripping, hiding open, and the back of his hand was exposed. It was gripping.
I see!
My front tail.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
God dang it! Give me a second.
Indeed.
You can grab my front tail, says Chiaki.
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear.
Now that you mention it,
Where's your
compared
evidence?
to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty
Jack's
mild.
pants.
He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
God, if this really is suicide, then Nagito's freaking insane.
Yep.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's how much he believes in hope.
Dopey.
That's right, that's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think?
Hope pee.
Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Huh?
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear. I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
His front tail.
Which, the cord.
The shaft.
The shaft! I mean the cord.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
Put it over the raptor.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord, extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand.
But
Shut up, Nagito! But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear?
Hajime said, but.
Shut up, Nagito! You embarrassed me in the trial.
I'm dead.
Neutral.
Huh?
Here's a question.
Oh, so why am I muted, by the way? Oh, because this is the Danganronpa channel, essentially. So when we play it, it's essentially muted, so just in case we're in a high tension point, somebody who doesn't play Danganronpa comes in, they don't begin, like, yelling and stuff.
They don't understand, and this is specifically for those who voice the characters in this game.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So please understand.
Yeah.
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
Keep it in the rafter.
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time. What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Vertical. Nagito was facing up and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it's just before that...
Yeah.
That's it. Could it be? The state of the spear, and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment.
His front tail knocked it over.
If I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was, and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito.
Oh yeah. It's time.
Logic dive!
Oh yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
all
cool
coming
Nagi.
together. Also, just a bit of more info. I think he put the duct tape on so they wouldn't hear him scream.
Yeah. Assuming that this was a suicide.
Yeah.
Yeet. Yeet.
He's in VR
She
chat.
yelled me.
Yeet.
Question 1. Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? Above Nagito. Yes!
Behind Nagito. From behind! I should have seen it coming!
Oh! Okay, that's new.
Oh, okay.
Hey Hajime, I put diamonds in your two necklace.
Damn you, Nagito! Hey Hajime, I messed up your mini games.
This is gonna be a trip. I believe, like, if I recall, Chapter 5 has the hardest minigames.
Okay. So here, what else was above Nagito? Stuffed plushie, sprinklers, a ceiling girder, yes.
Goida.
He's pinkly.
Time to gird your loins!
Understandable. Have a nice day. Ooga ooga booga. Dooga dooga. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going?
Nagito, why are you in octahedral form inside?
God, he's using bagels as weapons!
What do you mean? I'm just a bunch of triangles connected together.
This is actually really fun. Okay, what item could connect both the spear and the ceiling girder? Nagito, the rope on Nagito, the spear's cord. It's the spear and the ceiling girder. Yeah. Alright.
Good job!
Thank you.
Triangular.
Yay! Okay, there's one Nagito in the ceiling girder. Okay, and he was holding it by the spear's cord.
It's all coming together!
It's all coming together!
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's up.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
If I had it, I would, what to do.
It'd be awesome if he committed suicide by using ESP, but that's not the case.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. If Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
Oh, this is gonna hurt, but I love it.
God, he just keeps paling himself over and over again.
Yeah, oh god.
What an absolute madman.
Honestly.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
Okay, so that's where that truth bullet comes in.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious?
No.
Really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
Did he commit suicide because he learned he was the traitor?
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide?
Maybe.
Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Not just that. He did all that while he was gripping the spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end.
Oh, God.
Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
He's so casual.
Did he put the duct tape
I
on
mean,
his mouth
his face
too?
is covered, so...
Yeah.
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Just think about how Nagito and the bagels.
Did he need to go that far? That's
Maybe.
beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He's already crazy.
He was
That's
probably
bananas.
trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Hey, that's me.
Jeez. And I was starting to feel a little sympathetic towards him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice.
Hey, hands again.
A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form of malice he took.
What a feat.
I had forgotten about it, all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there was
Hey, how are
one
ya?
thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick.
That's where it gets weird.
He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
Oh, wow.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
This is no.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. The bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is, or...?
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
No.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry,
I like
just
this.
a little more.
This is...
I want you guys to wait just a little more.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Ooh, it's getting spicy. Okay.
I can't help
Drink
but
some
feel
water.
like there's still something we overlooked.
Drink some milk.
Okay.
Like who the traitor is?
But the
Drink
issue
some
here is who killed
happy
Nagito,
juice.
right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
Huh?
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
I was suspecting Chiaki for some reason, but I guess... Huh.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
Something related to Nagito's death. And it's something that even he couldn't have messed with.
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
Something related to Nagito's death. A piece of evidence that he couldn't even mess with. Torture wounds, burned ropes, rival life. Duct tape, spear of Gungnir, Monokuma plushie, girder, panels, oil, MP3 player? No. Sonia! I'm just kidding. Monokuma's account.
Hey, it's me! Yeet!
Probably Monokuma's account? Ancient ruins. Yeah, these are all for later on, I believe. Just making sure. Built to his right hand. I just want to be thorough. Duct tape. Monokuma plushie.
Don't worry, you have 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
7, 6. I don't.
I think he knows.
Yeah. Monokuma panels. The bombs were fake. Well, no, Nagito didn't. No, my bad.
Can I give a hint to what I think it is?
Oh, yes, please.
Something you found that was startling.
Something that I found was startling.
What contains a lot of information?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Do the fact that Monokuma's fortress and identify who the traitor is. I'll I'll take a leap. That might be true. Does that mean he couldn't have known?
Crap!
No, this isn't it. Chiaki's worried about something else. He couldn't. Yeah, I think this is something related to his murder. Something that he could not have messed with. Wait, did the music?
Just didn't the music stop when they entered? Oh.
Okay, yeah. Did the music stop when they entered? Okay, it isn't that one.
No,
I
they
believe
turned it off.
Yeah, they turned it off.
Okay. The left hand duct tape. Wait, a lighter. Something that he could have.
I'll tell you this. I got stumped on this as well, but
Okay.
then thinking about it, I was like, oh, like.
Yeah. Just trial and error then.
I mean, go ahead, I guess, but at the same time.
I'm gonna try to think logically, yeah, but okay, I get it.
So something involving his death.
Yeah, something involving.
That's all the hint. That's all the hint I can give you.
Yeah, okay. So the things in his room probably I won't factor those in. It's bloody. Left hand. Was it the time of death? He couldn't have known what time it was, right? Maybe it was time of death.
I see!
Okay. Take this.
Well, yes, but no.
Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
This is an Angry Birds. The victim is Nagito Komaeda.
Hey, that's me!
Yes, it is you. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is the spear stabbed in his stomach, there are also multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right. The suspicious part of the Monokuma file that Chiaki's worried about is... What is it? What's hidden in the Monokuma file?
Now, here we go. Basically the hardest thing you ever encounter in this trial.
Oh boy.
Good luck.
Oh boy. Okay. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh!
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Advanced Hangman's Gambit.
Oh my god, okay.
I think you want to remove your tab just to see it clearly.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
It's big tape.
Is it C? No. Oh wait. No. Let's try C. Okay. Cause of death.
Hey.
Oh my god! What is this?
Good luck. You got him, boy. You're getting it. You're really feeling it. You're really feeling it.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
And there we go. It'll be smooth
In this
breezing for
particular
me.
case is Monokuma file. There's no specific cause of death.
Literally, that was the hardest minigame or hardest Hangman Gambit that has ever happened.
Oh my god. He died of everything. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
Oh really? I thought some of them were missing.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not? The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was the cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
Well, Monokuma, I plead the fifth!
Here he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
That is true.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide. But, it's not just a suicide.
Is a suicide that's been tampered with?
Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations. And that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Just say.
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys?
Getting
Should we proceed with the vote?
Dang it.
See you in the future.
Future. Ooga booga. Yeah. Kumbaya. Wow. Excuse you.
I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied, even if it's just to be safe.
You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
I love Fuyuhiko.
This is friggin' annoying. If you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait.
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be alright. That's what I believe.
No, Alex, you're breathing.
Oh, splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
That's what I said.
If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. The absolute
Hey.
hope that can overcome any despair. He said
Hey, how
he was
are ya?
yearning for that. Then the situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking.
Yup.
Continue.
No!
Man, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought the voting time was gonna start. But, well, if you think about it, actually, there's no way it was gonna happen. We haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right? Hey, how much longer are you planning this soak? Let's get along like we always do. Alright, you passed. Friendship is measured by how long you can stand and sit in the silence when you're all alone with someone else. So Monomi and I are bestest of best friends.
Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now.
Enough! Why do I have to be hated that much?
Cause you're stupid. Besides the fact that you step at me like that, I don't trust you at all. Not even a teensy tiny 1mm bit.
You're sad.
You are sad.
Distrusting your friends is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know?
We aren't even friends in the first place.
Then, as your older brother, let me say this. You're not even...
You're not even my brother.
It's sad to live a life without friendship. That's even sadder than watching a high school rom-com full of guys.
Well, there may be some demands for that. I fell for it. I totally took the man bait. That's the end.
Should we continue?
Yep. No, we're saving. We're gonna... Yeah, we're saving.
Okay.
Fuck.
We'll continue. We can continue tomorrow.
Tomorrow...
It's Tuesday.
Right. Let's try for tomorrow, though I did invite Perth to watch JoJo.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's possible. I could probably do it. It just depends on what time. So
If not Tuesday, you know what? We'll do it Wednesday then.
yeah. Okay. Wednesday? Is everyone good with Wednesday? Okay. Then I'll stop the recording in 3, 2.
Yes.